Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. This is not a Babylon Bee article. Wait for it. Are you sitting down? CNN tells the truth. Yeah, I know. This isn't a Babylon Bee article. CNN stuns viewers with damaging admission about the Ukraine war. They're actually going to tell the truth. I'm almost speechless, but not quite. CNN is finally letting viewers in on the dirty little secret. The Ukraine war is not winnable. At least not the way people were led to believe. Russia, a nuclear-armed power, has long ago accomplished their mission in the Donbass region after having accomplished the same in Crimea years prior under Obama. Not under Trump, but under Obama and under Biden. Do the math. Since Putin sees the Black Sea region as vital to the nation's security, providing Russia with its only warm water port, the Russian army is not going to be pushed off the territory short of nuclear war. Yeah, duh. Do you think? Do you think? Now, you're going to see a CNN reporter actually say this pretty much on the air, out loud, in front of people. And since NATO has been heavily involved since the beginning, sending Ukraine heavy military aid, in addition to giving the fledgling, corrupt, undemocratic nation, by the way, the so-called president of Ukraine, ex-comedian, stopped elections. Stop the elections that are coming up for that country. So he just stayed in power. Unbelievable. Let's read on. NATO's mobilization against Putin to press for pushback instead of peace among the stalemate also served to push China into the arms of Russia. Only Biden and the Democrats could push China and Russia in together. They've been enemies for decades. Decades. Now let's take a look at what the CNN reporter has to say.
After months of a counteroffensive to wrest territory from Russia, new reporting from Time magazine reveals that while Ukrainian President Zelensky is still deeply committed to the fight, some of his advisors are worried. One of Zelensky's aides telling Time he deludes himself. We're out of options. We're not winning. But try telling him that.
Now, this is CNN telling the truth. Not exaggerating, not twisting facts to make them look like they're really real when they're really not. Not the lie of omission, none of that stuff. What on earth is going on? Is this, when CNN starts telling the truth, is this a sign this is end times?
And that sobering assessment extends beyond the civilian government. Ukraine's commander-in-chief for the armed forces saying this to The Economist. Just like in the First World War, we have reached the level of technology that puts us into a stalemate. There will likely be no deep and beautiful breakthrough. A stalemate which was not the characterization over the last several months.
They've already acknowledged that they're not going as fast as they would like. That said, they are moving.
Wait till you see the map after you get... They haven't gone as far as they would like, but they are moving. Wait till you see the map of the gains by Ukraine against Russia until you see the talking heads in the Defense Department, of course, under Biden.
It's not a stalemate. They're not just frozen. The Ukrainians are moving.
We do not assess that the conflict is a stalemate. We are seeing...
I got to admit, Jake Sullivan, even by Biden White House standards, is so full of crap. And that's a pretty high bar.
Continue to take territory on a methodical, systematic basis.
We've seen good progress in the counteroffensive, which is very heartening. We want to make sure that Ukraine has what it needs not only to succeed in the counteroffensive, but has what it needs for the long term.
Wah, 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 wah. Remember Charlie Brown? Remember the adults? Wah, 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 wah. Now, once you see the map,
And the reality on the battlefield, well, we can show you. Those silver slivers of yellow are Ukraine's counteroffensive.
Yeah, the little tiny bits of yellow between the greenish color and the red. The stripes has been controlled by Russia for a very long time, since 2014. Wait for it, under the Obama administration. All Putin really wanted was access to the warm water port. Now, you may not like the way he did it, nor do I. But that was his objective from the beginning, to have a warm water port. The only one is vital for his security. I'm not saying he's right in what he did, but that is the reality. And if you notice, all the stripe areas along the Crimea were taken under Obama. That one piece of territory was taken when Obama left office, and when Trump got sworn in, that one piece of territory was seized. Those of you out there that hate Donald Trump or have a lukewarm opinion of him, you don't have to like the guy to admit, finally, that will be going on in Israel and Palestine now, Gaza, and the Russians invading Ukraine would not have happened under Trump's watch. You don't have to be an expert in geopolitical situations to figure that out. And by the way, those Abraham Accords that Trump and his administration put together should have won a Nobel Peace Prize easily. Easily. And for you Obama Democrat fans out there, when Barack Obama won the Nobel Prize, what did he win it for? What did he do to win it? I've yet to have anybody come up with an answer. Let's listen on.
Gains, and it really isn't a whole lot. Now, the ground in Ukraine is hardening now for another long winter, and the fight in the United States over how much aid to give it is getting more intense. Congress has authorized roughly $113 billion so far, but polls suggest that the American people's willingness to support Ukraine is waning.
No, it isn't just that. You know why they're telling the truth? Because this story on the Ukraine-Russia war has already gotten the clicks and made all the money that they're going to make out of it. So when they can't make any money by lying or twisting the truth to get clicks, to get views, to get advertisers to pay more money, they finally tell the truth. Now it's in their best interest to tell the truth, and so they do. And that's the way it is.
The yellow line here shows the share of Americans who say that the U.S. is doing too much to help Ukraine. And now it's at 41%, up from 29% in June.
Yeah. People see it as indirect modern Vietnam, and they want no part of it. Let's read on. After months of counteroffensive to wrest territory from Russia, new reporting from Time magazine reveals that while Ukrainian President Zelensky is still deeply committed to the fight, some of his advisors are worried. He deludes himself. We're out of options, says an aide. We're not winning. Try telling him that. And that sobering assessment extends beyond the civil government. Ukraine's commander-in-chief of the armed forces saying this to The Economist: just like in the First World War, we have reached a level of technology that puts us in a stalemate. We would likely be no deep and beautiful breakthrough, a stalemate, which was not the characterization over the last several months. Then CNN dropped the hammer and showed members of the Biden administration misleading Americans on the Ukraine war. They told the truth. They told the truth. We do not assess this conflict as a stalemate, said the State Department. And Jake Sullivan, of course, the worst of the bunch out there. It's hard to say who's the worst of the bunch. There's so much competition. Philip then went to the Ukraine map to show Americans where the conflict is continuing to be fought on the ground. And as you can see, the little specks of yellow are the regained by Ukraine in recent offensives. Probably land that the Russians gave up to get a little better defensive posture. It's amazing to me. And the reality on the battlefield, well, you can show those silver slivers of yellow are Ukraine's counteroffensive, and it really isn't a whole lot. Yep. Congress has authorized $113 billion, way more than what's going to Israel. And you can see the graph there, the American people. Meanwhile, the U.S. Congress is still pursuing leads in the allegations of Biden influence peddling in Ukraine during the House impeachment inquiry. Hey, the Biden's got as much money as they can get out of Ukraine. Time to move on. The White House has thus resisted efforts to audit the aid packages to Ukraine, but the new House Speaker, Mike Johnson, a Republican from Louisiana, has signaled that he intends to put an end to the continuous stream of taxpayer funds to Ukraine with lax congressional oversight. How many oligarchs and other criminals in Ukraine are lining their pockets? Probably a lot. But the part that I think is more important than just talking about what's going on in Ukraine-Russia war is the fact that finally, maybe just this one time, but you got to start somewhere, CNN told the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, as the saying goes. I'm stunned. It says CNN stuns viewers is absolutely right. Very rarely will I quote CNN unless you're saying something incredibly stupid or ridiculous, which is quite often. But there it is, folks. Not a Babylon Bee article. CNN actually told the whole truth on a major world event in war. What's going to be next? Joe Biden learns how to speak English and give a speech? We can only hope. And until next time, God bless, goodbye, and good luck.